All right. Well, hello, Lisa.
Hi, Kim. It's great to see you.
It's wonderful to see you too. And let me just say before we begin, I am so humble and honored to have the opportunity to interview you and also congratulate you again on this Lifetime Achievement Award.
Thank you so much. It's very humbling.
Yes, 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 yes. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to start with our first question. So the first question is, tell us a little bit about your background and how you became involved in CTE.
Well, if you start way back when, my dad was a counselor and my mom was a teacher. So I guess it's kind of natural that once I figured out healthcare wasn't for me, I went with my other passion, which was family and consumer sciences. And I spent over 25 years in family and consumer sciences and school to work in high schools and middle schools classrooms in really small districts. I had a district that there were 212 students K through 12 to one of the largest districts in the state of Iowa that's even growing now. And when I was at that school, I was asked to apply for a position at Iowa State University coordinating the Family and Consumer Sciences Education and Studies program and teaching FCS majors. And I hadn't even thought of that. And I went, wow, I've had a lot of student teachers and I thought I could help the program. So I took that position. And during that time, because of my ACTE involvement, I was asked to be on the state CTE task force that was part of our state's CTE redesign project. And that kind of led to my interest even higher in CTE on a more programmatic level. And because of that, then when the state consultant position opened at the state of Iowa for family and consumer sciences and as a CTE consultant, I applied and got that position. So I thought there was so much to be done to strengthen programming in all CTE areas. And while I was there, I also worked with the Iowa Board of Educational Examiners that helped alternative licensure people get certified in CTE. And the other part of that background in CTE was as an FCS educator, I was on our state FCS organization. I was the vice president and then led to president. But our bylaws said I had to be our representative to Iowa ACTE. And I didn't know much about it. But I learned so much being on that board. I was secretary first, and then I kind of went on to be the vice president, and that rotated up to president. And that's what really got me started in on my ACTE involvement, where I ended up as Region 3 vice president, on the policy committee, was secretary, and was finance chair for ACTE my final year on the board, which my term just ended in July of 22. So it's kind of my little mix and where I came from. As first as FCS, not really knowing much about, I knew about vocational education. I didn't know much about CTE, but I learned a lot along the way.
Yeah, well, Lisa, from your very beginnings, talking about your parents and the opportunities and the experiences that you've had, leads us into our next question. And our next question is this. As someone who has been involved in the education field for several years, how have you seen the changes or what changes have you seen in CTE throughout your career? And then I'm going to go ahead and give you the second part. And if you want me to repeat it again, I will. How do you expect CTE to change in the future?
Sure. Well, I think the changes are significant. I use the V word, vocational. And we've gone from a collection of courses that people just saw as fun electives, and often they were pegged as male or female. Everybody, females took my classes, males didn't, and it was unusual if a male would at first when I started my career. And they also started as, these are for students that aren't college bound. And today now we have full programs that offer exploration and really authentic learning and experiences for all students. Doesn't matter if you're male or female, if you're college bound or college prep or whatever, our courses are for everybody. And they're for in-demand careers. And I think at the secondary level also, where you and I spend a lot of our time, those certificates and post-secondary credits and the work-based learning all include internships, so students can try out a pathway. And I think I just see such a huge change since I first started way back in, I won't even say the year, to where we are today. In the future, I see more funding for our courses. Maybe that's a dream, but it needs to happen to keep up with the narrative, because you hear the narrative is talking about, we need to help students get into programming, into careers that they don't have to spend so much money on to get their education, and also to help students be exposed to all that they can do early. And so we need more money to be able to have that happen.
Yeah.
And this also helps students make informed decisions. I don't think 4-year education is going to be the standard anymore in the future. And that's difficult narrative in our parents' minds, I think, to change too,
Mhm.
because we all think 4 years is what means success. But I think in the future, and it might be down the road a bit, a lot of what CTE education is about and the opportunities, the better we do at sharing who we are and what we are, I think that people are going to understand who we are, and that CTE is and can be the way for everyone to find success.
Yes. Yes, I totally agree with you. And I think that I'm going to put that on my big vision board too, on my wish list, more funding, right? And so I do agree with you on that one.
Well,
And
it's hard to
so
do
yes,
without
yes,
it.
yes, yes. So, as I've had the opportunity to meet you. I know we've been in arenas together before, but this past conference, I really had an opportunity to meet you and get to know a little more about you and your work and the things that you do. And so I know that having an opportunity to be a part of that symposium. So here's a question that I ask you when you think about your colleagues or you think about other teachers. What are some words of advice, support, or encouragement you would give to teachers who may be facing some of the current challenges that we have now?
Oh, yeah. I can't say a lot more than what I shared with our group in that symposium this last at Vision. And that is to keep your passion burning. And you can't try to be everything all at once. Choose one course, even one unit or strategy that you want to improve upon 1 year. Don't try and do it all at once, because you're going to burn yourself out. Know that you make a difference. And I think sometimes that's hard for you to feel that, but believe me, you do. And surround yourselves with positive people. Forget those other people. They're not the ones that you want to be like. They're not the ones you want to, I mean, that's just in life anyway. The Debbie Downers, they can be Debbie Downers and they're unhappy. And those participants in that symposium were all just so passionate and excited, and some of them are in the classroom now. So I think we just need to remember to keep our passions burning. If you are a singleton CTE content teacher in a school or wherever you are, or workplace, make sure you reach out to others in CTE. You don't just have to be well, you and I are both from the FCS realm, so you don't just have to be FCS people that are your cohorts and comrades. CTE is, and see yourself in that big umbrella. They're your family, and
Yeah.
ACTE can help you connect, problem solve, and grow.
Yes, I do agree with you. So let's go to our next question. And I know that again, just thinking about all the things that you've done and your accomplishments and what you are continuing to do to help us in CTE. What do you consider or hope to be your greatest legacy related to CTE?
Let me preface this with the fact I've been fortunate to have been able to learn from many professionals I've met in my career journey, and they helped me become the professional who I am and who I still am becoming to be. You're included in those people that I've learned from. I have to think, if I really think of my greatest legacy, is the Family and Consumer Sciences Education Program at Iowa State University, which is where I received my undergraduate degree. That program was in danger of being eliminated when they hired me. It had fallen in numbers, and I helped it grow to one of the top producing programs in the nation. I'm really proud of that. But it still kind of teeters there just because of where we are with all education programs right now. I continue to support and advocate it for that program. And I know the students that I've touched directly or indirectly through that program have had an impact on their students' lives and careers, and also their communities. And I think my legacy is not only that program, but in CTE teacher preparation programs and the teacher shortage movement. I think that's what I'd like to be remembered for, I guess, and know that I touched a lot of people and maybe even just made them think about what is it that makes good teachers. And hopefully that's what I'm really proud of, that work, I guess. And that's probably where my passion burns the most. So
Yes,
if I
yes, yes.
answered that the way you were thinking, or, I mean, there's so many things I've done, but I know all these pieces I've touched, but I think it started with that program at Iowa State. And we
Yeah.
just got some good news about that program in the last week. And I can't say anything yet, but I'm really excited about where it's going. So.
Okay. No, I think you answered that perfectly. Because again, when you talk about it, your light shines, right? And you get this like glow on your face because it is where your humble beginnings began, right? And
Yes.
so I think that that's really important for us to know about you and your works and what you've done. What you just said, the question I'm getting ready to ask you, and that's about passion,
Mhm.
right? And so you are clearly passionate about the work that you've done, the work that you continue to do at your school. And so you shared a little bit with us about it before, but share again with us. Where does your passion come from, and why is CTE important?
Um, I think I shared this sometime in Vision. And if not, I maybe wrote it down to myself to remind myself that my parents were educators. And when they both passed, which was unfortunately, it was when they passed, was when people would tell us stories about the impact that they made on their lives. And that passion that my parents had, I think just kind of grew in me too. My sister was also an educator, and she taught in Virginia. She was an elementary teacher. She wasn't a CTE teacher, but she was an elementary teacher. And she was I think one of those state leaders, and was like a teacher of the year for her school or something. And I think we both got that passion of, education and what it can do for people from our parents. I've
Mhm.
also seen what CTE can do for our students, um, the ones that are unsure of what they want to do, and those who have no clue and aren't passionate about anything and don't really think about finding their passion, but their eyes light up when all of a sudden they complete an event, or maybe they compete in a leadership role in FCCLA or Skills USA or FFA or other career and tech ed student organizations. I taught Pro Start in high school, and I tell you what, those kids, um, when they, compete at a Pro Start event, are so super proud of themselves. And would help them see, I would help the rest of the school see, what they've accomplished too. And I think those kinds of things, when you see it, makes a big difference. And it's connecting those other coursework pieces that they do in school that helps really make their learning stick and come alive. And I think that's why CTE is so important. Because if a student doesn't see the connection, they're just going through the motions.
Yes.
And are they really going to find that in their career then?
Yeah. Yeah. And you're so right about that. Just that 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 time when something goes aha, right?
Mhm.
That aha moment that they have when they have been a part of our programs. And so again, as I said, I've had the fortune of working with you this past, I guess, a couple of weeks ago,
Mhm.
and it was I really enjoyed that. And so, my last question for you is this: what part of being an ACTE member do you value most, and what would you say to someone who is considering becoming a member of ACTE?
Well, I think somebody shared at Vision this year that CTE teachers are a little different than other educators. And I'd have to agree. I mean, all educators, they share that pedagogy piece, but I think the CTE educators um, have to be very skilled in their content, maybe more so than others. Or if we're not skilled in that content, we've got to do an awful lot of reading and finding out what's going on. And we need to connect to people in order to do that. So
Mhm.
I would say the networking and professional development that I've been exposed to through ACTE, and also the leadership development that I've had, it can't be touched by any other association I've been involved with. Um, I think we share a passion and understanding that other people can't with us. And so ACTE made a difference in who I am as a CTE educator and advocate. It's helped me nurture and encourage others as well. I just, like I told you before we started this interview, that I just got some feedback from our symposium, and all of the participants were just so thankful, and at the networking opportunities they were given, and they saw it, and they saw the benefits. I think there's friendships that I've made that are lifelong. And I think if you really think about return on investment, as an ACTE member, it's the best value for the money and return on your investment that you can make. Um, and I don't know why you would not be a member, um, because of because of all the things we offer, professional development and the networking that are available. And it's nationwide. It's not just in your little corner of the universe. So
Yes, yes. I I would certainly agree with you on that. I'm just going to add one thing to your list of legacies, right? I know you didn't necessarily. I know it was something that was brought to your attention, and you said, you know what, we're going to do this, and you did it. You started this symposium for working with new teachers, and I say that that's a part of your legacy because I know that it will continue to grow. I know that next year will be even better, right? This is just the beginning of what that is. And, the legacy of, what you said, recruiting and retention and keeping new teachers in and helping them to understand what CTE is. And although we may be biased sometimes to FCS, right? We are um, overly biased to CTE and just making sure that we bring in people who really understand the nature of what it is that we do. So I would say to you, that would be something that you need to add to your legacy list, right?
well, I have to give Scott Stone the kudos for that, because he's the one that wrote the opportunity grant. I just
Yes.
helped helped make it actionable. So helped put it together. So yeah.
Well, you both have that legacy behind you. So, kudos to you all and, congratulations on that. I just want to say to you, Lisa, that it has been my honor and pleasure to have the opportunity to speak to you, to interview you, to get to know you a little better, right? And to have some personal one-on-one conversation with you. And I know that there is so much more to come, so many more things that you're going to help us to grow and understand as CTE teachers. And again, congratulations to you for being the Lifetime Achievement Award winner for this year. And thank you for allowing me to interview you this evening.
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure to get to know you too, because you were an award winner. And I think I like to read about our award winners to see what I can learn from you too. And I'm so glad that you were able to help our symposium students and be with them too. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You are so welcome, and I'll be there next year. So we're gonna have a good time.
Definitely.
Well, listen, I want to say have a wonderful winter break, winter holiday. Enjoy the winter concert with your grandson this evening, and I bid you a good evening, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
Okay, thanks so much.
You're
You
welcome.
have a great winter break too.
I will. Thank
Okay.
you.
Uh-huh.